What's up, guys? This is a quick update for my trading plan from this morning. This morning we did a live as usual. We were looking for, let me bring this over. Did I not fill that out? I don't know what happened, but I filled that out earlier. But we were looking for a long on the ES. We were looking for gaps to be filled. We were looking for a retrace to the downside after news to get long. The retrace did happen. If you take a look here, let's look at this chart. It's a little bit more clear. So we got the big pump before the market opened here. We didn't break a high, although the Dow Jones did, and it looked like it didn't create any displacement. So that was a failure swing. And everything we were saying and looking for was pretty accurate. We got long literally at the candle low, minus the wick. Came all the way up, but it didn't play out. We were looking for this gap to be filled, or at least this high to be broken and scaling out on those levels. But suddenly, one thing that I saw, so there was one thing to take note of, was the Dow getting rejected after it hit liquidity, that swing. And what happened, what I noticed was right at the open, when we were pumping, there was a massive put spike on the flow. And it was weird because I think there was something wrong with the data, because I refreshed it and the spike was less dramatic. But either way, the massive call volume came through on the SPY. Or sorry, the massive put volume came, and that was scary for people who were looking long like we were, or like I was. This is just my trading, whatever. So yeah, those were two signals. I'm still new to the flow, so wasn't sure if I should take that big put spike into account. But looks like I should have, and that would have been a great opportunity to get short here. I knew that NASDAQ would be weaker. So if I use the same logic from my long trade idea and said, okay, NASDAQ's really weak, big put volume just came in, okay, what's the weakest one to play? NASDAQ. That would have been a logical idea for me. And we had retraced into a nice displacement leg down into the fair value gap. So I would have been able to catch a short, risking this high, and catching this move back up. We know that the big put volume didn't come in until this candle here. So if we zoom in here, maybe we could spot an entry for when I could have gotten in. I don't know why I keep saying we. This channel is just for me. But, and for people to keep track, I guess, and learn. But yeah, the put volume came either on this candle or on this one, and I could have entered in there or in there, and I would have had to been pretty quick, but there was some time. I remember looking at the puts and the price action, and I was like, it's still holding up, so that's why. But I think it led the price action though, so that's why that would have been a good opportunity. If I had traded it, would have been pretty big. If we just look at it, just so I know what I missed out on. And I would have taken it, somewhere in there, be conservative. I would have risked that range high, and I would have targeted the low here, most likely. So it would have been a nice, perfectly 3R trade. And if I held some runners, then that would have been great too. So that's the recap. Um, things I did well. I think I did my analysis pretty great. I don't think I did anything really wrong there. It was just during the trade managing it and seeing signals that weren't good, such as this sweep here that had no displacement, just wicked it, sold off, bounced, broke this high again, and swept it again while ES failed, NASDAQ failed. We knew NASDAQ would lag, so should have known that if we're not breaking these highs along with the Dow, especially after it moved down after that. So yeah, I think the puts and the Dow, that should have been enough for me to get out for small win, if anything, or break even. So there's that. That's the morning trade. So I was just wrong. Would have been a scratch trade at the minimum, and that's what I could have done is managed it better by seeing those signals early on. So we'll move on from that. I just posted a short video, like a reel on YouTube, just covering, and I'm just gonna want to cover it more in detail right now. So I went long here on Bitcoin a few days ago. This one I did manage correctly. So I was long in somewhere in there. I was targeting these equal highs, risking, oh, messed that up. Risking this previous candle low. Let's just say somewhere in there. It was not exactly 3R, but it was good enough. So we saw this move up. I really liked once we confirmed this trade here, but this was key to see the immediate rejection, especially on the higher time frame, because that's what this trade is based on, is a minimum of a 4-hour candles, because that's what the strategy I was using was, with this 4-hour fair value gap and holding this order block area. And as you can see, we wicked. Don't like that, so I immediately was on alert, looking for if we're just going to dip back down. I liked this candle. I was hoping we'd be able to start to round out and push back up. The indices started dumping, tech started dumping, and we know that, or at least I know that, these are highly correlated with the indices, especially the NDX. So I knew if the indices are going to be bearish and keep pushing down, that would correlate to the and especially because of this sweep. If the indices were pushing down, that wouldn't have been enough of a reason, but because we failed and started rejecting here with the indices, once we were around here, I stopped out for like $3 loss, so scratch, basically break even. So yeah, did great on this trade. So I executed great on this trade, even though it wasn't a winning trade. It was still a good trade, and I would take it again, and maybe this displacement would happen, and then boom, I would have hit my target. And if it didn't, I would have been able to move my stop or something of the sort, or take partials or something. So there's Bitcoin. There's my daily trade plan that didn't work, and executed with a few issues. So there's something I can do better with. Other than that, I'm still in USD JPY. We finally got a rejection here in the right place at the right time, but as you can see, we're starting to get bought back up. If you look at the smaller time frame, it can clear things up a little bit. Problem here is we had a displacement, but cleaned it out and didn't create a fair value gap, so I didn't like that. We swept lower, basically accumulating here, and then we had a sharp move down, but didn't crack anything. So not looking good anymore for USD JPY. I don't think there's a reason to really get out yet, other than just hitting my stop loss. So DXY was selling off still, I know we're retracing here, but there's no real reason. I know that this could go higher, and yeah, the Japanese trade could be just totally wrong, but there's not a real reason for me to get out yet that I can see or figure out. So still holding this, and other than that, that's everything. So thanks for watching if there's anyone, and if you're wanting to keep tabs and follow along, I post lives every morning, and I'll be posting my trading plans and my trade reviews, recaps, and then just intraday analysis as well. So thanks for tuning in, and adios. See you in the next one.